This video is a continuation of previous video about keywords in the series. If you haven't watched that, I do recommend to watch that prior to going for this tutorial. I am leaving a link in the description for your reference. So what exactly are JavaScript identifiers? JavaScript identifiers are the name that we give to variables, objects, functions, arrays, classes, etc. We must use a unique name so as to identify them. Once we declare the identifier, we then use the identifier to refer to that variable, function, etc. elsewhere in the program. There are certain rules and regulations in order to define a valid identifier. First one being the identifier name must be unique within the scope. So what exactly is a scope? So scope is a very big topic that I will revisit in a different tutorial altogether. For the time being, just understand that scope is something that will be defining the premises where exactly your variable or value will be valid. Now, second rule in the list would be JavaScript variable names should not start with numerical values like 0 to 9. Any numerical digit will be invalid if you are beginning the identifier name with any kind of numerical values starting from 0 to 9. They must begin with a letter or an underscore character. Okay, and the third rule in the rule set would be we cannot use reserved keywords. So this is where I suggested to watch my previous video about keywords. So keywords is something that will be used as a grammar for our language. So we should always keep in mind that keywords are something those are reserved by JavaScript, and we should not be using reserved keywords as part of our identifier name. And fourth point being they are case sensitive. So if you are defining say hello as a variable, and if you are having say hello with Pascal case and say hello with camel case, then both are different. Even though from terminological standpoint they are sounding like similar variable, but they are actually different variables because of the casing. So JavaScript is case sensitive. And the last but not the least, we cannot use spaces in an identifier name. So it should be a single word without any kind of space. Now let's understand this with a simple example. So here I am ready with my developer tool snippets window, and I will be adding a new snippet for showcasing how exactly identifiers are defined and how we can be able to use in conjunction with keywords. I will be naming it as identifier. Okay, so this is our snippet and I will be writing my code here. So for our demo, I will be defining a simple variable. So as I told earlier, I will be using where keyword in order to define a variable. So where, then variable name. So my name should be username, for example, and I am assigning my name into that variable. Right now I will be defining a simple function. So later in the phase of this course I will explain in detail what exactly function does, what exactly variable does, but for the time being, just for our demo sake, I am just taking you through some small snippets of code. So just be with me, I will make it clear, and as and when we will progress in the course, it will be more clearer to you, so don't worry. So next I will be declaring a function. So I will be using keyword function for that. So I will be taking keyword function, then followed by my function name. So for example, I am creating a greet function and followed by parenthesis and then followed by curly braces, and inside I will be simply logging in hello from JavaScript. Okay, so in this specific code snippet, you can see I have used some keywords like where is a keyword that is being used for declaring a variable, and function is a keyword that is being used for declaring a function. So I have some other words other than keywords, predefined keywords, in order to construct a successful program. So like I can say you can have username as a different word that is being used for declaring a variable, and I have greet as a word that is used for declaring a function. So all these user defined names are referred as your identifiers. So identifier and keywords are both different. So in a program you will be using identifier in conjunction with keyword to have a proper snippet of code. Now let's understand whatever rules I have depicted in the last slide, is it still valid? So I am clearing off my markings so that it will be clearer to you. And for example, just to cross check, if I will be prepending this particular variable name with some numerical value like 5, let's see what happens. If I would like to run this one, Control Enter for Window and Command Enter for Mac, then you can see you have a error coming out. And what exactly that error says? Uncut syntax error, invalid or unexpected token. So token is nothing but your this particular variable name is what causing this error to pop out. We cannot create a variable name beginning with a numerical value. Either you can prepend with a underscore or you can begin with any kind of letter. And the similar goes with function as well. I could not create any function name beginning with number. If I will be like trying to run this one, then you will have same kind of unexpected token error. So refrain from doing this one. And also as part of another rule, you could not use spaces in your variable name. So for example, I will be declaring a variable in the similar fashion having a space in between. Then if I would like to run this one, then you will end up having error, uncut syntax error, unexpected identifier name. So it is unable to identify name because the keyword is where, and after where you should have one single identifier name in order to declare a variable, but instead we have a space in between. That is why it is failing to identify that as a proper variable name. So let's get rid of this one, and now we are fine. This is it for this video. In later videos I will deep dive about variable declaration, function declaration, object declaration, and we will understand how exactly the memory mapping is happening in computer memory when you are declaring a variable, and how exactly you can be able to write a program. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much.